We're seeing you here on the Underground Railroad. Was it something about the series itself or maybe Mac that really enticed you to be a part of it?
First and foremost, it was Barry Jenkins. Um, Second and foremost, it was the Underground Railroad. So to be a part of something historical, but fiction also, just kind of having a spin on this thing. But I jump at the opportunity to work with great directors, and I jump at the opportunity to be able to educate while entertaining.
Absolutely. This is a great
Um,
vehicle for that.
Yeah, yes, it is. I love Denzel. If you can see in the background, I have, well, over there, I have all of his movies except for maybe three or four. And I consider myself not just to be an actor, but I'm an artist and I'm an activist. So I try to kind of pattern my career after Denzel. I love what he did with his career because he speaks through his art. Like most of his movies, everything that he's ever done for the most part, he's had a message in it, a major message. And so I can really appreciate that about Denzel. And I would really kind of love if I had a career similar to his.
Mac is a beautiful character in this. How does he fit into the arc of the Underground Railroad?
Mac is kind of like he's just an everyman, you know, going through this is the antebellum South. So
Right.
he's the everyday black man dealing with the oppression of slavery and just that life in that world. So he's making it through the best he can and kind of just adapting. You know, this is his world. It kind of reminds me of my life growing up in the inner city in the projects. And I was just talking about it the other day. I was like, you have to laugh to keep from crying. You know, there's so many. I spent my first 18 years on this planet in the projects, and it was so miserable. You and to experience that type of misery, you have to be able to experience an immense amount of joy. You know, it's kind of like the acting symbols, right? The
Yin and
smile and
yang.
yeah, yeah. So to know sadness is to know happiness. I did an acting class in college, and it was by it was a book I read. Robert, I can't think of his last name, but the main characters were him and the young girl, and she asked, "How long does it take to become a great actor?" And he said, 20 years. He just threw out a random number, and basically what he was saying is that you need many years to experience pain and sorrow and tragedy in order for you to be able to embrace the good stuff of life also. You can't be a great actor or artist if you haven't experienced any pain or anything like that. And she hadn't experienced any of that. So I kind of liken it to that. That's Mac. Mac is living his life in the antebellum South and dealing with the hardships and the oppression of that world. But at the same time, he can appreciate certain aspects of it. Say, for instance, the white man that he works for and whose plantation he's on, and he's developed this special relationship and bond with the father. Unlike, I don't want to give much
Too
away,
much,
so
right?
yeah. So unlike the son, though, his relationship is different, but he was able to acclimate to that world, and he was able to find relationships that he could appreciate. Also, it's like since I'm here, I might as well make the most of it. It's kind of Max world, I guess.
Were you familiar with any of your co-stars before you started working with them on the show?
No, um, yeah, Joe. I was familiar with Joel Edgerton's work a little bit. I had seen him in a few things, but I had never met him. But other than that, other than him, nobody else that I can say.
How hands-on then was Barry when it came to shaping these roles and these specific moments he truly wanted to capture for the screen? Was he very like, this is what I want from you, or here's a little bit of a broad idea of what I want, and then, sort of let you flesh out that moment that he needed to capture?
I think it's the latter. And I think he knows if you're an actor, he casts you, he trusts you. And when I came in, he just allowed me to do what I do. And then he'd give a little nudge here or there. If, he wanted a little more of something, he's like, give me a little more of that, or pull back on this, or something like that. And, but for the most part, Barry, he let me do my thing, and others from what I saw. He's laid back. He's smooth. He's just smooth. He knows what he wants, and he has a very relaxed environment, atmosphere. So yeah, it's just great to be in that environment.
It's intense subject matter, though, and something that we're all familiar with from school books, though. But still, for you to embody this role and take on the cinematography of the moment and things like that, it must have been a little bit mental draining on you. How did you shake off a long day of filming?
Hmm. You know something? People will ask me about The Walking Dead and how I shook it off a long day of filming something so grueling and horrifying and everything like that. I said, but I channeled it through my life. And whenever I'm doing my character work, I try to go back as far as I can in my life and pick up different things along the way, and whatever attributes I can borrow from me, lend to my character, I do that. Coming up in the projects, I experienced so many horrific things. It was, I ran the streets, I sold drugs, I saw an immense amount of violence and so on and so forth. With my mom dealing with physical abuse from her, and she being an alcoholic and addicted to crack. So that's real life. Um, the Underground Railroad for me is acting. So it wasn't much for me to really shake off, because I compared to the real world and it's like, it's nothing. But I know that there were people that experienced much worse than I did in my real life. So it was more so me trying to sympathize and empathize with what they had gone through. That kind of helped me get in my character, because I was just really feeling just totally just empathetic with their plight. It must have been so hard and tough. But when Barry said cut and I'm done, I was
You're
kind of
back to
done.
irony. You're
Yeah,
back to
I was kind
irony.
of done. Yeah, yeah.
With such a poignant series is coming up here shortly, you are a part of social media. Are you looking forward to the instant fan feedback you're going to be receiving to this show?
I didn't give it any thought. As a matter of fact, I didn't know we would be talking about this. I'm sorry, Jamie. I thought we would be talking about general things, and you started asking about the show and about my character. I was like, whoa, oh, that's what this is about. So right now, if I had to give it some thought, yeah, now I have to give it some thought. You just asked me the question. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. But I'm mostly looking forward to people just being moved by the content and being motivated, given this time period and what we're going through today, but becoming more empathetic. We need more empathy in the world right now, and I think that's something that we're lacking. And so by watching this show, I think it will broaden people's knowledge of the experience of slavery and oppression, and how we have lots of that stuff from then we're dealing with today. And hopefully it'll contribute to making us a better society. That's what I'm hoping for, Jamie. Yeah.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Yeah.
We've seen you do a lot of dramatic work. Is that what you're really drawn to as opposed to comedic vehicles? I mean, There are, of course, moments of comedy and occasionally in the roles that you take on, but it's very dramatic overall. Do you see yourself more as a dramatic actor, or are these just parts that you find yourself drawn to?
Parts that I'm casting. So no, I'm drawn to a message. See, the first project I ever did, my first project was White Man, Black Man, Jew Man. So if you think about it, it's kind of it's it was a comedy. I made it a comedy because it was such heavy material. We're talking about it revolved around the hanging of a Confederate flag and all of the drama that ensued around the black guy wanting the white guy to take down the flag. He had a flag up at his home. He wanted him to take it down and all that stuff. So that's kind of heavy material. But I made it a comedy because it's easier for people to digest. And it would make a lot of people shut down. They would be more open to it. So I said that to say that I can do comedy now. I can do comedy, I can do drama, but I'm more interested in leaving the world better than I found it. So if it's through drama, I'm fine. If it's through comedy, I'm fine with it.
You touched on it a bit, but we did love you on The Walking Dead. What did it mean to you to be a part of such an iconic series?
Wow, looking back on it, it's incredible. My character's T Dog, it seems as though he's more popular posthumously than than he was on the show. There's so much talk and so much love for T-Dog when I go out, or when I used to go out before COVID, go out
Right.
to these conventions and
Convention.
everything, Jamie. And my line would just be wrapped around the corner. And I would go all day from like sun up to sundown because people wanted to meet me, T-Dog, AKA T-Dog. So it's incredible. I said, when I was in the 11th grade, I just got off an interview a moment ago. And I was telling the interviewer, Brother Derek, that when I was in the 11th grade, I wrote a paper to commemorate Dr. King's birthday, and it was called the I Have a Dream speech. And in that speech, I said that I want to be an acclaimed actor on the big screen so that I can inspire millions of people around the world. Now, being from the projects, my English teacher was like, you might want to think of something more practical. Yeah, that doesn't happen. You'd be lucky if you get out of here.
Slim
You talk
chance, slim chance.
slim chance. So you might just want to just try to get out of here and think of something more practical. But now with The Walking Dead, it gave me worldwide fame. I could go to London or France or Germany, anywhere, the UK or Germany or France, and people recognize me. So it was like, that was like a self-fulfilling
Full
prophecy in a sense.
circle. Full
Yes,
circle.
I want to tell people, if you have a dream, stick to it, speak it into existence. Don't let anybody talk you out of your dream. Just continue to speak it into existence. And if they try to talk you out of it, don't talk to them about it. Your dream may not be meant to be shared with everybody. So yeah, it's just an incredible experience, Jamie. Incredible.
What are we going to be singing you next after the Underground Railroad?
After the Underground Railroad, I'm hoping I've just been contracted to put together a project called Military Mattress, and it focuses on sexual abuse in the military.
Wow.
In light of Vanessa Guillen and what she's gone through, I was kind of shocked that they chose this. Is the writer is a newcomer by the name of Desiree, and he's not a newcomer. This is Jay Bunning, who's a writer of the Walking Dead novels, and he's just been chosen. Yeah, he's writing the Stan Lee unpublished works also. So Jay and I go back from the Walking Dead, and
Full circle.
yeah, full circle again. There you go, right? And so I've been tasked with putting together the team to shoot this thing. Hopefully it'll be sooner than later, because that's another issue that I want to help make better and do something about. Whenever there's any type of pain, I want to do my part to lessen that pain, to make a situation better. So that's my mission here in life. And hopefully we'll be able to get that done sooner than later.